2020 was the best year ever, and I want to talk about my experience and honestly just the lessons that I learned this past year. But a little disclaimer, if you had a hard time this year and you know that this is going to be a triggering video or topic, please don't continue to watch on. My intentions are not to create videos to show off how great my year was, because if you actually watch the video, you'll learn that it was hard, but I learned a lot from a lot of the pivots that I had to make. But again, if this is a triggering video, please click off and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. But let's get started into my year and what I learned. By the end of 2020, I kind of got tired when people were saying, if we can all agree, 2020 was the worst year ever. Because for me personally, I disagree. The reasons for why 2020 would be a terrible year would be people have lost lives or close ones due to COVID-19, a loss of a job, and just the political tension that was here in 2020 with the election. But here's the thing, all of these aspects of 2020 are really part of the human experience. There will be many politically charged years to come. People are always dying and the economy is always unstable. Although the reason for all these things that happened came as a surprise, which was COVID-19, challenges arise every single year. And that being said, this video is about what I learned in my own life and in my own challenges in 2020. I know that I am speaking from a point of privilege because my business continued to grow. I didn't lose anybody close to me due to COVID-19. So I understand that this is a point of privilege, but the point of this video is to share what I learned and document that so that maybe you could take something from this video as well. Number one, I got married, and that alone is the best thing ever. And that is why 2020 is the best year, is because I got married. On January 25th, I got engaged to the love of my life. And it was difficult trying to plan a wedding because the original date was August 2nd of 2020. But as the pandemic hit and there was a lot of uncertainty, we had to figure out what was essential to our life and the life that we wanted to create moving forward. And a big wedding, although that's something that we had always dreamed about, just wasn't a part of that plan anymore. So we pivoted and we had a 13-person wedding, and it was out in a public park in Austin. And the last 7 months have been incredible, and I wouldn't change it for the world. And ultimately, I have my person forever, and that alone makes 2020 the best year ever. Hey, if you've enjoyed this video so far, I'm gonna be making a lot more videos like this one in 2021. So make sure to hit the subscribe button so you get notified when my next video is coming out. And let's get back to the video. Number two, I grew my business more than ever before. In January, after a year and a half of freelancing kind of on my own, doing videos and photos, I started Gattozzi Collective. And this was supposed to be kind of a full service marketing agency. But with the pandemic, it made it pretty difficult to start pitching companies about massive marketing overhauls when there was a lot of uncertainty with what's going on in the world. So we had to pivot, and we now focus on content creation and social media. Had I not had to pivot, I don't think that my business would be doing as well as I anticipated, because I was offering so many different things. When I simplified the business, it's actually been a lot easier to sell our services. Therefore, it's been a lot easier to grow the business. And I'm super excited through all this clarification to see where the growth could come and go in 2021. The third thing is finding clarity in my faith. My faith in God is always a journey, and you never quote unquote arrive. So I'm always going to put this in my yearly review because it's also the most exhilarating part of my life. This year was particularly difficult because with the pandemic, church was online. I felt like I was away from my community that I'm used to having, and I lost some friendships and there were some conflicts. And I think it's easy to be afraid of being in a desert or feeling alone in our faith, but I think that that's where there's a lot of power in terms of growth. And so although I am in a crossroads or a desert of sorts in my own faith, I feel like I am clarifying a lot in my own faith. So although this was just 1 year in my journey in my faith, I'm excited to see where I grow in 2021 in my faith. Lastly, I spent a ton of money on my education. And no, I still have not gone to college, but I spent a ton of money on books, courses, and coaching. I am a big reader and have always been a big reader, but I've usually relied on free resources or YouTube to learn a lot of my skills, like video editing. This year was different. I spent money on courses and coaching, and it's totally transformed my life, and I can see a huge difference in terms of where my business is and where my life is in terms of confidence because of these courses and the coaching. Look, there were moments where I was so scared or weeping or just didn't know what was going to happen the next day. There were times where I was, angry at the government or anxious about the elections. So I'm not creating this video and not going to say that this year was hard in a lot of ways. 2020 wasn't easy, but life just isn't easy in general. If we look back on each year of our lives, we see that there's always going to be a set of challenges. Of course, we don't anticipate those challenges when we're doing our New Year's resolutions, but when we look back, what makes it hard is that these are challenges that we didn't expect. And so of course, there were a lot of surprises of 2020, but there's a lot of surprises in every year of our lives. I choose to look at the good that comes from the challenges and the growth that happens. There are so many things that we can't control in our life, like a pandemic, but the reaction to this year and challenges is something that we can control. The greatest parts of this year came from learning how to pivot from the unexpected. Hindsight makes it sound easy, but it wasn't. I also wouldn't want to change it at all. I look forward to 2021 where I launch new products, brands, make more videos, try new things, and I'm just really excited about where my life will be in just 1 year from now. So thank you so much for watching. There are gonna be plenty of other awesome videos coming your way, so please make sure to subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, see ya.